Well, here on my little YouTube channel, I spend a lot of time talking about the opportunity that we all have to start our life all over and lead a more productive and certainly much more financially satisfying existence over here. And instead of being stressed all the time, we just get rebooted, reinvigorated, and we start living.
Yeah.
And however, what happens when we stop living and the final curtain falls and it's over and done with? Well, you guys should be familiar with my friend JR. And recently, JR unfortunately just lost his father. And I never know what to say to a man when that happens. But he knows he has my sincerest condolences, as I'm sure you do. And he called me up and he said, you know what, I've got something I think I need to talk to your viewers about. And he said, we always talk about visas and all that kind of stuff, which everybody's pretty clear on. But what happens when an expat, as I just mentioned, stops living and has the final days? And he has some interesting facts and insights that I know it's an unpleasant topic, but I think it's something that has to be covered because we're all going to meet our maker one day.
Yeah.
And what do you do? And how do you plan for it? And what can go right and what can go wrong?
True.
So I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let, which is a big relief to all of you.
That's a very serious intro.
Yeah, we thought it would never end. And I'm going to let JR take over here. So, JR, I'll just start with the obvious. If Uncle Paulie over here passes away tomorrow, what happens? And what's the ramifications? And what can I do to prepare for it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is actually one of the thoughts that actually I did call you and message you when my dad passed away I think a month and a half ago.
Yes.
And this guy told me like, hey JR, you're gonna find your $1 million on the road and let me know when do you find it. And I did find that. One thing that actually gave me the motivation to talk to Paul and make this video is for you guys to be aware of what can you expect, how much will it cost you, what are the things that you need to prepare when you pass away here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Like number one, there are 3 things right now.
Okay.
Number one, you need to acknowledge that you're gonna be paying taxes.
Now, I never knew that. I always figured that when I passed away,
Everything is gone.
well, I always figured I had it kind of set up so that my wife would get it. Just have it done. I knew nothing about taxes.
Yeah,
Can you please share with everybody about that little snafu?
When a person actually pass away here, he has properties. Properties could be a real property, your house, your condo, your cash in the bank, your visa deposit for your SRV, your car, that is forming part of your property. And the tax that I'm referring to is the estate tax. The estate tax will be now collected by the Philippine government. For the registration to be transferred in terms of ownership from the deceased to the legal surviving heirs. Let's just say your spouse, your Filipino spouse, or your legitimate legal heir. So that's number one. You need to understand that this tax cannot just be paid over the counter, and this tax should be processed separately. There's a process. We're talking about now property holdings. Property holdings comprises, as what I've mentioned to you, like the real property, your car, your cash in the bank, and also your SRV visa deposit.
And it could be a television set, a laptop,
your shares,
your scooter,
yep, correct,
money in the bank,
correct,
your clothes, you name it.
Yep,
that's going to get taxed.
yep.
Okay. Who does the taxation? Does someone come in and do an evaluation? How does that work?
All right. The valuation would now come into the documents that you have presented. What is the fair market value of your car? What will be the fair market value of your property? What will be the fair market value of the shares? What could be the amount of your visa deposit in your SRB, so on and so forth.
Okay.
So those documents will now be consolidated into one before you go to the tax office here in the Philippines and then they're gonna compute taxes from your end.
Now, who's going to be doing the going? Because I'm dead. I'm not going anywhere.
The legal surviving years.
Ah, okay. Let's skip up to that. How do we determine who is the legal surviving heir?
Commonly, it's your spouse.
Okay.
It's your children.
Okay.
Those are the common legal surviving years. The one who is left right now.
So is just being married here in the Philippines, would my wife just be designated?
Yep.
What about kids they have back in America?
That is something that actually we talked about earlier right now, because this is something that you need to prepare.
Yeah.
There are two governments right now that are actually taking a look at this perspective. The
Okay.
US government from your end
Okay.
and the Philippine government.
Okay.
That is why it's very important for you to plan out and sort everything out in the US
Uh-huh.
and sort separately here in the Philippines
Okay.
for you to take good care of your Filipino spouse.
Okay. All right. Now, what about the guys that just have a girlfriend and they're not married, they don't have any legal documents holding them together, yet in his mind he wants, his girlfriend to get everything?
That's really the gray area,
Yeah.
because there could be ways in doing that, but doing it properly is something that you really need to keep an eye on so that
Okay.
everything will be in order.
Okay. And would a simple will and testament executed via an attorney, would that suffice?
Up to some extent, yes.
To some extent?
Yes.
Okay. What would be the limitations on that?
There are limitations right now in the family code, which is not really familiar with, but you can actually talk to our attorney so that we can properly be guided, because that's what I mentioned, there are two areas that we need to take a look at and consider: the US side and the Philippine side.
Uh-huh.
That needs to be plot out so that everything will be in order right now. Imagine you living one of the biggest blessings that we have every day is our lives.
Absolutely.
Definitely. You cannot buy it of how much trillions or billions do you have.
Right.
Once it's gone, it's gone.
Yep.
And then once you'll be leaving this earth, and what you mentioned, the curtains already fall down and your time is up, what will happen to your other half?
Right. That's the main thrust of this. This is my main concern.
Yes.
Will my wife be covered?
Because-
So I mentioned to you that I just ran into my attorney that does stuff for me here and there at the bank today. And I said, thank God you're here, because I have been meaning to do a will forever. And May and I are coming up on a big project here in the next few weeks. And I said, you know what, this is just a sign from God or something.
Yeah.
And I made an appointment with him right there in the parking lot to go next week.
Nice.
And set it up, because if I go away, I want to make sure that she has access not only to all of the material goods, but also the money that may be overseas and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Because what's going to happen is when I die, America is going to shut down my bank account. And we have to have a way to unfreeze that.
Correct.
And I have to make arrangements with the bank. And so there's a lot of phone calls to make. There's a lot of people to talk to.
A lot of paperwork involved.
A lot of lousy paperwork to do. And so it's remiss of us if we don't mention this to you. Now, let's just say let's not just say it. The fact of the matter is, I've got 3 kids back in the States. And my ex-wife and I, we actually set up funds for them while we were still married. And they're not going to be part of any will moving forward, because they've already been taken care of. Do I need to notify anybody of that? Do I need to show them a copy of that will or those
Yep, that would help.
stipulations?
That would help.
Okay. So the more the merrier.
Exactly.
The bigger the paper trail, the better.
Yep.
So I need to call the ex-wife and say, hey, ship that stuff over here. Because I had no idea when I first got here that I was going to end up where I am today, which is married and all that kind of happy stuff. Okay.
Because
So-
at the end of the day, your kids in the US are still your legal surviving years.
That's correct.
You
correct.
have been divorced with your wife.
Yep.
You have a wife, a Filipino spouse here in the Philippines. Your children in the US, your biological children, and then your Filipino spouse is your legal surviving years right now. Your first wife is already done.
Done. Divorced.
Yep.
Yeah.
So these two parties right now you need to take care of.
Okay.
Set clear paperwork. Hey guys, in the event, we hate to say that. Filipinos don't talk about death.
Oh, yeah.
They do away with that topic.
Oh,
Like, I think you noticed that.
just this afternoon. I was telling me on the 11th, we're going down to see Nathan, and she's like, I don't want to go down there.
So you need to take good care of that both sides so that everything is clear.
Okay. So a lot of pre-planning as far as home country. We won't just say America, but home country could be Canada, Italy, wherever. That needs to be settled, documented, and you should have it in your possession.
Yep.
And it should be in a place where everybody can find it.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as the estate tax, that is going to be assessed here.
Yes.
And my wife would be responsible to pay that.
Exactly.
All right. So, and it's approximately, I think you said 6%.
6%
of the appraised value
of the fair market value of your
market.
total property holdings.
Makes sense.
With policies being in place, like they have these exemptions, they have their funeral expenses, but roughly, just to give your viewers an idea, like it's 6% of the total property holdings. And this is why, if you notice, you've been dealing with properties, right?
Yeah.
And you came across with people like, hey, I'm buying this land for my spouse and me, although the foreigner cannot own land, but buying it on a Filipino spouse. And you've heard this one, like, hey, the estate tax has not been paid yet.
Yeah, I heard it a lot.
That is the reason why, because these people right now, especially in the provincial areas, don't have the capacity to pay the estate tax, because this is not just one subject property. This is an aggregate of all, or the sum of all properties of this deceased person.
I see.
This is not just, okay, if you have 4 cars, you only have 1 car to be listed there. No way.
So these folks are going to inherit this stuff, but they may not have the financial capacity
Exactly.
to handle that 6%, and that turns into some form of a lien on the property.
No lien, but there are penalties.
Penalties.
Yep.
And those accrue.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yep.
So by the time they turn around and try to sell that property, that could be a large amount of money.
It is.
Yeah.
Take a look at this 5-hectare land with my mother's side in the
Okay.
province.
Okay.
It was not settled probably around 10 to 15 years. The tax base was 300,000. With penalties, it drops up between 1.2 to 1.3 million
Pesos
pesos.
that you would have to cough up in order just to get the property to you.
Yeah, to be transferred. The ownership registration will be transferred from the deceased parents to the legal surviving heirs or siblings.
So much for the free property that you inherit from mom, right? Or
So if
grandma. That's
Yep.
unbelievable.
So if someone would say like, hey, I'm the grandson of this deceased person, I am the owner of it, it does not automatically connote that they're the owner.
Okay. Now, I am also going to be looking into another one of my procrastination moments here, but this week we're doing it again because, like I said, we are moving into this big project, and it just woke me up that I got to get this stuff done. You know, get off my butt and go do it. Quit talking about it. I'm going to do a prepaid burial.
Yep.
You recommend that?
Yep. Because that is the second thing that they need to know. Like for the burial expenses, roughly it would cost you between 150,000 pesos.
Okay.
Roughly, let's put it this way, 3,000 US dollars. Decent wake, decent funeral. You can stay in a building where your casket is. Everything is there. Like it's a cozy thing. You can also do that in the house, but if you will do that in the funeral house, you have your casket, you have everything there set up for you. That will cost you roughly between 2,500 to 3,000 US dollars.
Well, I don't think in our circumstance or our situation, the financial burden would be that tough on my wife. But I do know the mental burden would be unbearable. That she has to now go in and talk to all these strange people. She's talking about something she doesn't want to talk about. Instead of them just saying, Mom, it's all handled.
Sure.
We have a casket, or we have an urn because he wants to be cremated, and we have this room set aside for you.
Exactly.
We have the hearse. We
Yes.
have this, we have that, the flowers, whatever.
Yep.
And that's one less thing
Exactly.
that the poor woman is burdened with.
That is what we actually felt when my dad passed away, like, hey, we have this prepaid plan. We paid the $3,000 over a period of 5 years, 60 months. Like it's just like set aside on a monthly basis.
Right.
And once we used it, it's there.
It's done.
It's
and
done.
You didn't have to think about it.
Exactly.
Because you had a lot on your mind. You know, to lose a father or a mother or, God forbid, a child is horrible enough.
It is.
To have to get into these kind of details. What if the really unspeakable happens and my wife dies before me?
Knock on wood.
We're not guaranteed
Yep.
anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, her and I just spent a couple of weeks being sick, and it really woke me up that, you know, when she was sick, we were inches away from taking her to the hospital because she was not looking good. Thankfully, we got it through it. But it doesn't have to be an illness or a heart attack. I hate to say these kind of things, but she could walk out the front door and say hello to a Sears bus coming down the road.
Sure.
Or some crazy driver that's been drinking all night. And again, I hate bringing that kind of stuff up, but it's a reality.
Exactly.
You know, death and taxes, you can't escape them. So where am I at if something happens to my wife? Do I lose the property that we purchased?
Nope.
Do I lose my visa status as a 13A?
Initially, I had a talk with my attorney. You have the inherent options for your property. And that's for the property side as the foreign spouse of the Filipino citizen. And then for the visa side, there was actually a provision. I think we have mentioned this on our last two videos that we do. You now have the option to keep your 13A, even if your petitioner who is a Filipino citizen passes away.
Let's go over that right now, and then let's circle back to the property, okay? So explain to the folks how, because my understanding has always been if my wife is deceased, I just kick back to a tourist, and then the only other option I have is to stay on a tourist visa
Or SRV.
or SRRV.
Correct.
And I don't want to be a tourist, and I also don't want to spend 20 grand on an SRRV.
It's already 30
You
now.
know? Oh, 30, thank you. All right. I really think I'll stay on a tourist. This comes to you every 2 months. But let's talk about this, because this is I've never heard this, you know, other than when you've talked about it. Explain to the folks how a married guy with a 13A visa, which in my mind is the best deal in the Philippines.
It is.
As far as
True.
ease of getting it. Yeah, you got to go through some hoops, but they're minor ones. Couple
Sure.
trips to Cebu, you know, the background check. And the cost is $5 a year, and it's good for, I think, 5 years, isn't it? And
Yeah.
then go down. Once a year, I come down and
For the
I do
annual
an
report.
annual report.
Uh-huh.
It's bip, bop, boop. I'm in, I'm out. We're under a tourist. I got to show up every 2 months.
2 months.
And on the SRRV, what's the story on that?
Same. You're gonna renew it every 1 or 2 years.
Okay, all right. And how much does that cost?
It will cost you roughly, depending, by default, it will cost you 360 US a
Okay,
year.
so again, not killer, but I still like my $5 number better than the 13A. So how would I retain a 13A if I'm no longer a married guy?
Okay, there's actually a provision in the immigration rules that gives you the opportunity for guys like you who may happen to lose the Filipino spouse ahead to have that provision, but it is not automatic.
Okay,
It is still subject to the approval of the Bureau of Immigration.
okay,
We need to file your paperwork. Prepare for it, file the petition as you are the petitioner when you retain the 13A.
okay.
So it's not automatic again.
But I can just ask, can I stay on this? And they have the
Yep.
right to say yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Is
still
that
worth giving a
something-
shot.
Is that something you handle?
Yep.
Is that one of your services?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a feather in your cap. And so I can maintain that, and that's that.
Yeah, leave.
Beautiful. Let's circle back to the property ownership. My understanding is the way the contract is worded, where we have this property together, I can't own the land.
Correct,
My
yes.
wife can.
Yes.
However, my understanding is if she was to
Pass,
leave the planet
first,
before me,
yeah.
pass away, that I still have full rights and privileges to that. Is that true?
Yeah, there's an option. We have initially discussed that with my attorney. There's a provision in the Constitution that the foreign spouse can inherit the property when the Filipino spouse passed away ahead.
Okay. Is that something that needs to be notified or filed or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
needs to
Even though it's in my contract now.
Correct.
That
Yeah.
we've agreed to agree on that. It would still be something that I would have to follow through on.
Yeah.
And just solidify.
Exactly.
So that I can still enjoy and use the property. Okay. And the building, I can own the building.
Sure.
I just can't own the land
The
it
land.
sits on.
Correct.
So, all right. Well, that's good to know. So I think the 13A deal is a big deal.
It is.
And it's not widely known.
In terms of cost,
Yeah.
but it would somehow matter also in terms of how expensive can be your wife is. We're just speaking about reality
Yeah.
here,
If I'd have stayed single, think of the money I'd have saved.
right?
Yeah.
You're
That was
lucky.
one expensive 13A.
The wife and the 13A
Yeah.
combined together. Okay, shit. I could have got the SRB. Sorry.
Could have got 2 SRVs. All right. So is that basically what you felt compelled that you wanted to share
Yeah.
with people today?
There's a third one.
Okay.
With your final resting place, your lawn lot, your burial lot is also something that you need to take a look at into. Like it's more on the decency side. You can actually still like be buried in the public cemetery. That's fine. But if you want to have a decent lawn lot of 2.5 square meters, it will cost you roughly between around 5,000 to 6,000 US.
Okay.
And it can also be prepaid.
Okay. All
So
right.
preparing it in the next 5, and we're not saying that we're gonna do that tomorrow, but again, the reality is when we were born, we're already set on up to when are we here.
Correct. Yeah, we all came with an expiration date.
Correct, yes.
That's true.
So that's the third one. I think I called you like, hey Paul, it's not about the visa stuff, it's not about the real estate stuff, but
Right.
I am compelled because you've been a good friend of mine, and your subscribers needs to know what's happening. It's spoken out of experience.
Yeah. Yeah. So we talk a lot. Like I said, I don't want to be too redundant, even though I usually am. But we talk about how good our life is over here, and how relaxed it is, and how beautiful the women are, and the sunsets, and all that kind of stuff. But this is a big, big part of the reality
Exactly.
of living over here is dying over here.
Yeah.
And how do you want to die? Do you want to die being a burden to someone that you love? Or do you want to die with some dignity and allow her to be relieved of the additional stress
Correct.
that she's already experiencing having lost someone that she loves?
Plus, it would be tougher if there would be financial burdens as well.
Correct.
Imagine the emotional, the mental, and the financial burden.
Yeah.
What else can you think about it?
Yeah, yeah, because the embassy is going to be notified.
Yep.
7 Americans every day die in the Philippines. 7 per day. And so the embassy knows the drill. And one of the first things that they do is they get someone over here to do an inventory
True.
of what you have. So you're not only dealing with the Philippines, but you're dealing with the Americans also. So the takeaway I'm getting from this is make sure you got your act together in your home country as far as anyone that would be a survivor and would have a claim to your estate, and also set everything up as legally as possible to make it crystal clear who gets what here in the Philippines.
True.
Prepay for your final resting place, if possible, and
Your funeral plans.
your funeral plans.
Yeah, those 3 things actually we have experienced that. Like we lost our dad, but you know what? Like taking the financial burden away. Like hey, we know that we have prepared for it. It actually like lessened the burden.
Yeah,
It did.
yeah. And you can focus more on memories of him
Exactly.
instead of what bills do I have to pay and how much aggravation is this going to be.
Yeah. There will be donations, but you know what? The donations will never be enough.
No,
It
No.
will never be.
no. Well, JR, once again, I want to do two things. I want to, again, express my deepest sympathies for
Thank you.
losing your father. I know how close you were to him and what a mentor he was to you. And I also want to thank you for coming on the channel with me and sharing this. And if you have any questions about what we just talked about, if there's someone in that situation that you know of, feel free to give JR a call as far as him being able to help walk you through it. And if you have any issues or questions as far as your visas, like the 13A upon death, or just an SRV question or anything such as that, he's an expert and that's what he does. And he's also been instrumental. I just handed him a contract 20 minutes ago on a proposal for a house build. And he's already found 3 or 4 things that he says, well, we need to shine a light on these 4 things. This is what I would be comfortable with knowing. So,
Yeah, that's important.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, because
And,
as what I have mentioned to you, I'll be reading that as an end consumer. I'll be putting your shoes into mine. As if I'm the one building a house, I'm gonna have our in-house attorney to review it. I'm gonna ask a constructor who is a good friend of mine to review the contract as well.
Talk about a good friend.
Thank you.
It's an honor to know you, my friend.
Thank you, my friend.
Okay. And you will see myself and JR in another video sometime in the future. And we'll try to make it a little more gruesome. Have fun, kids.
Thank you.
See you in the next video.